Well, joining us is Rayanne Holian, the superintendent for Buffalo Trail Public Schools. Rayanne, I just want to start with your initial reaction to Alberta Premier Jason Kenney's new plan for schools going into online learning and the extended winter break.
I would say my general thoughts were we were all prepared. We knew going into the 2021 school year that there could be three scenarios. So we were in the first scenario with learning at school. So all along, we knew that the opportunity for different blended learning for our students was a possibility. So I feel that our teachers were extremely prepared to hear that message that happened Wednesday, and that they'll be prepared to support our students with at-home learning. And it's not particularly an extended winter break. School is open. That message has come across very clearly from the government and from the Minister of Education, and we're supporting students. So learning will look a little bit different at home this time. One of the things that is happening, students are able to come to school by appointment to get support and help from their teachers. We really want to ensure that going into the final exam period in January, that students are prepared for those courses and for all students. So students can come to school by appointment. Our students with any exceptionality are able to be at school. So it looks a little bit different now than in the spring. And our teachers are working hard right now on what that's going to look like in the next 2 weeks and then after Christmas.
I know you touched on it a bit with the teachers and how they were also expecting these changes. And of course, it's been a change since going back to last school year in particular. So have you heard anything else from them in regards to the fact that now they have to adapt once again to these new learning methods?
I give a lot of credit to our teachers who are working in scenarios where we don't really know what it's going to look like. And we have had teachers who have had to isolate for 14 days for being a close contact and have done a great job with teaching at home and supporting their class while at home. And I think although this is putting some extra work on our teachers in order to prepare on what that looks like, because it does look different when people are at home learning, but they're doing a fantastic job with ensuring our kids get the support they need and ensuring that from the student end that it's not too much, because it's different learning at home than when you're in the building.
Now, is there going to be additional resources offered to students who may be struggling with dealing with not only online learning, but also the fact of being isolated for so long? So is there going to be stuff like counseling available for students if they do need it?
I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because I think every parent and every student who's watching this needs to know that there are mental health supports available. We put that in a lot of our communications out to people, because when you're looking for those supports, you don't want to go searching through lots of things. You want that readily available. So we actually just talked with our leadership team this morning about ensuring students know and parents know about the great mental health supports that are available in Buffalo Trail. We have different programs that are available. WOW in Wainwright, Vibe up north in our northern schools. We have social emotional coaches that are available in all of our schools that during this time when students are at home will continue to connect with students. So there are supports available. Thank you for bringing that up.
Now, once we know more information, is the division prepared to go back to in-person learning after the winter break is over? And also, are they prepared to do online learning if things in Alberta continue to go the way that they do?
That is another really good question, because that has come across in all the school divisions in Alberta, that if a decision is made for January 11th, we'd really like our staff and our parents, our students, to be prepared in December. So we're looking to have the government make that announcement before students are on break. So to really watch those COVID numbers and the cases in the next little while to see if the guidelines and restrictions that we have in place now, if they do make an impact. And so with regards to your question, January 11th, our teachers are prepared to come back to school and welcome those kids. I know they will not have seen them for over a month, so that will be a great opportunity to reconnect and have those face-to-face conversations and discussions and learning again. But if our COVID numbers in Alberta. If those don't decrease like we're hoping with the new restrictions, our staff would be prepared to continue at-home learning and supporting our students in that method as well. We have done an extremely large amount of professional learning and support with our staff to ensure that they're confident in supporting students with at-home learning. And that doesn't actually always mean technology either. Our staff are preparing some maybe of the more traditional ways to learn at home as well. And there'll be novel studies going home, and there'll be resource packages going home, and students will have some of that traditional pen and paper. It doesn't mean that everything will be available online.
And lastly, Rayanne, is there anything else that you'd like to add on top of what we've already talked about?
I think one of the things that I need to mention is that no matter what seems to be thrown at us, our staff at Buffalo Trail are doing a phenomenal job to prepare on short notice to support our students. And our families have been extremely supportive as well. When we had to come back to school and all wear masks and follow the guidelines of the hand washing in and out of classroom and all of that, our families were extremely supportive, and our students are doing a great job of continuing learning with all the restrictions in place. So I'm very fortunate to be the superintendent in Buffalo Trail and working with an amazing staff and board of trustees who's really trying to support students and families and staff. So thank you.
Well, Rayanne, I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for joining us today.